Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another tutorial. In today's video I'll be showing you guys how to cut and sew this bubu A-line gown with a fitted waistline. Now, if that sounds good to you and it's something you're interested in, then please stick to the end of this video. You'll be glad you did. Now, if you're just coming across my channel for the first time, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and also don't forget to like my video and also share to your friends. Now, with that being said, guys, let's just get right into this video. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using 3 yards of duchess silk, and I already went ahead to fold it like so for the front body, so you can fold according to how wide you want it to be. So I'm going to be using that top as the starting point or the shoulder line when I'm taking the vertical measurement for this bubu. So from the top, I'm going to be coming down 17 inches, which is going to serve as my shoulder to waistline. So I'll go ahead and mark 17 inches right there. Then after I'm done doing that, I'm going to be going down to mark my hip line as well. So from 17 inches, I'm going to be marking down 10 inches. That will serve as my hip line. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. And then I'll just draw a line across. Then the next thing I'm going to be marking is my bust point, which is 11 inches from the shoulder line. So that's just what I'm marking right there. And I'm just cross-checking to make sure that what I have is correct or true. So I came out 7.5 inches, which is going to serve as half of my shoulder measurement. Then after that, I'm just going to be leaving the rest as my sleeve length, which is about 13 inches right there. You can do more than that if you want. So for my neck width, I came out 4 inches, and for the neck depth, I'm also coming down by 4 inches. Now after that, I decided to change my neck width to 5 inches. So that's just what I'm changing right there. I came out by 5 inches for the neck width. And then after I'm done doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and connect these 2 points together using a curved ruler. So I'm going to be using my pattern master to achieve that. Now, because this is a cut together sleeves, so I'm going to be going over to the edge right there and coming down by either half an inch or 1 inch, which will serve as my shoulder slope. So I'll just connect it back into the neckline like so. Now for the width of the sleeve mouth, I'm going to be coming down 9 inches from that top right there. I'll measure 9 inches down. Now it depends on what you want and how wide you want your sleeve mouth to be. You can do 10 inches or 8 inches, depends on you. Now on the bust line, I'm going to be measuring the circumference of my bust divided by 4. Then I'll be placing that there, and then I'll go ahead and add extra 3 inches because I want this bubble to be very free. Now it doesn't matter, you can actually add 2 or 1 inch, depends on how wide you want your bubble to be. Now I added another 1 inch for sewing allowance. Now I'm going to be transferring what I have on this bust line to the waistline because I want the waist to be very free. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And because I want it to be a very free boo, I'm not going to be taking the hip line into account. So from the waistline, I'm just going to use my hand to just kind of freestyle and draw a line down to the hem line like so. And I'm using the full length of this duchess silk for this, which is 60 inches for this style. So I'm using the full length. Now I'm just going to connect from the sleeve like so in a curved way. I'll just join it back into the measurements that we have like so, as you can see. So the next thing we are going to be marking out is where we want to insert our loop. So I'm going to be using nipple to nipple measurement for that, which is 4.5. I added half an inch, which is 5 inches, and then I'm going to be coming down 2 inches from the bust point, and then I'll make sure that I mark 5 inches from the center front like so I can get a straight line. And then I'll be marking 2 inches downwards from the waistline. That is how long I want this space to be for the loop. You can make yours longer or shorter, it depends on what you want actually. So I'm just demarcating and using my chalk to just mark where I want it to start and where I want it to end. So that's it right there. So after doing that, I'm going to be spacing this opening where I want the loops to be inserted. So I want the spacing to be around 1.5 inches before the next loop is inserted. I hope you understand. So that's just what I'm marking right there. So starting from the top, you're going to be having 1.5 inches of space before the next loop is inserted. So I'm at total, at the end of the day, I'm having 5 places where I'm going to be placing all the loops. So after that is done, I'll just go ahead and cut this front piece out, but I'm going to be leaving about half an inch of space before I start cutting on the neckline area and around the shoulder to the sleeves. That will serve as a stitching allowance. So the reason why I'm cutting on the line at the side seam is because we already added 1 inch of sewing allowance before. So after I'm done cutting, I'm going to be using pin to hold this front piece in place because this material shakes a lot. And then for the opening, I'm going to be coming out 1/2 inch on both sides on that waistline, and then I'll just draw it like a shape, like a dart shape, because you're going to be joining this back as if you are joining your dart while you've placed the loops inside. So you'll be joining it like you are joining your dart. So that's why I'm just using that chalk to draw a reference line like so. Now I'm going to be placing the front piece on another folded material like so that will serve as the back piece, and I've already gone ahead to use pins to hold this front in place because this material shakes a lot like I said, so that's why I pinned it. So now that everything is in place, I'm just going to go ahead and cut. Now I'm using the same measurement for the back as well, the 5 inches by 4 inches. So I'm not going to be altering anything for the back. It's the same neckline for both front and back. So I'm just going to pin the front and the back together. After doing that, then I'll go ahead and cut the back piece using the front piece like so. And one thing to note is that the back piece is not going to be having any zipper allowance because it is a very free gown, so there's no need for that. Now I'll just go ahead and use my scissors to gently open up that space where we need to insert the loops. So I'll just cut it to the point where I need it to be opened, and after that I'll go ahead and use my notcher to notch the 1.5 inches interval that we placed there for reference, so we can know the exact place to place the loops. So that's just what I'm doing right there with the notcher. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is covering up the neckline of both the front and back with facing. You can either use your bias strip to do that if you want, or you can just cut facing for this. So I went ahead to cut 2 facings for both the front and back. So I'm going to be placing it right sides facing each other, and then I'll sew along the neckline by 1/2 inch, and then I'll flip it to the other side and also top stitch. I'll do it for both the front and back. So after I was done using facing to cover up the neckline, this is what I have. I also used hemming gum to hold the facing and the material in place. So this is how it looks like. You can see that I've already covered up the edge of the facing as well with the hemming gum. So having done that, the next thing we want to do is to insert our loops into these openings for both front and back of this gown. Now in order for us to do that, I'll be cutting out strips of about 1.5 inches wide, and then I'll be folding twice like so, and then you fold again, then you sew along the edges to form your long rope, which you'll be cutting into tiny pieces of about 2.5 inches in length before you be inserting them into this opening to form your loops. I hope you understand. So these are the pieces I'm going to be using as the loops. I cut out 2 inches in length first, then I discovered it was too short, so I went ahead to cut 2.5 inches in length. Now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking them, you fold them into two, then you'll be inserting into the notched space in the opening at the 1.5 inches interval that we noted down before. So you'll be pinning them at each interval from the inside out like so. So you pin them till you have 5 loops at each intervals. Then after you're done pinning, you're just going to sew along that line with 1/2 inch sewing allowance, and you'll be sewing it as if you're sewing your dart. So you sew from the top of the opening to the end of the opening. By doing that, you're trapping the loops inside this opening from the inside out. I hope you understand. Now after I was done sewing in the loops for both the front and back, this is what I'm going to be having, and this is the rough side or the wrong side of the material and the rough edges. So we are going to be covering those rough edges up with bias strip. Now the next thing to do now is to place the front and back together right sides facing each other, and then we'll be sewing along the shoulder by 1/2 inch like so. Then you can cover up that shoulder after sewing with your bias strip. So I'll go ahead and do that. So after joining the shoulders, this is what I'm going to be having. I'm also going to be covering that up with bias strip much later, and I'm also going to be covering up the dart area like so with bias strip. Now moving on to the sleeves, I'm going to be folding the two sleeves by 1 inch sewing allowance. I'll be folding them in by 1 inch like so, and then I'll also be joining the front and back pieces together at the side seam by 1 inch sewing allowance. After I'm done doing that, I'm also going to be folding the hemline of this gown by 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So after I was done joining the side seam of this gown, I went ahead to cover the rough edges with bias strip, and I also folded the hemline with 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this gown inside out so you can see the right side of this outfit. So you're going to be needing two long strips for this outfit to lace your loops. So I went ahead to do one off camera, which is about 100 inches long, which you're going to be using to lace one side of the outfit. Now for the other one, you're going to be cutting out long strip, like I said, of 100 inches. Now I went ahead to cut a long strip of 60 inches and another one of 40 inches. You had a few inches to join the two together so you can have your 100 inches. Now after doing that, you're going to be folding twice at the edges. You fold at the top and also fold at the edges and fold over again before you start sewing to achieve your strip. So that is how I got my strip done. So after doing that, I'm just going to show you how to lace this strip. So you'll be inserting into one loop at a time. You insert first at the front loop, then you go to the back and also insert it in a crisscross manner as if you are inserting your corset lacing. So that is how you are going to achieve this lacing. And on that note, guys, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so very much for watching, and don't forget to give me a giant thumbs up and also share this video to your friends. And also, if you made it to the end of this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button and join the family. Also, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thank you so very much once again. Until I see you in my next video, guys. Bye.